What is up, everybody? Good morning. Happy Saturday to you. Happy NFL Divisional Playoff weekend as we start this afternoon. Going live, going to discuss the 4 games, 2 games each day this morning for you. Won't have a chance to go live tomorrow, so I'm going to do it this morning. We're going to kind of go through game by game, kind of who I like, talk some strategy, if you will. Again, a lot of this is really up in the air. GPP wise, we just got to be thinking a little outside the box, but not getting too crazy or too weird. But anything's possible, just like any week in the NFL, any given Sunday. So let me get this shared out real quick, and then we're going to dive right into it. Appreciate y'all being here. Jump into it. Give me 1 second. Oh, cool. Sure. All right. Give a minute or so, let some people get in here. I know it's early, Saturday morning. I have a lot to get done and a lot to do, so we're going to dive right into it. Give people a few minutes here to filter through, not get notifications. So, all right, so the first game, we're just going to get right into it. I'm just going to start. It's going to be Cincinnati Bengals at the Tennessee Titans. This is at 3:30 Central Standard Time, 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. This game is probably going to be one of the, I think, easier ones in my opinion. What up, Bogarts? How you doing this morning? Good morning, buddy. One of the easier games in my opinion to kind of filter through. The biggest stance, or the toughest decision that you have to make this weekend is quarterback, right? When you get down to these 2-game, 4-game slates, it's that much more difficult to get it correct or get it right. You have very little chance of like getting a quarterback wrong, not being the top quarterback on the slate, and still coming ahead or taking down even possibly a GPP. Well, let's jump right into it. We're going to start with Cincinnati at Tennessee. This is the first game of the divisional playoffs. Right now they have at a 47.5 point spread. They have Tennessee favored by 4. Derrick Henry has been activated. He was activated off the IR, so he will be back. They are stating that they're not sure on his workload. I can bet you any money that he is going to get a full workload today. They are not going to hold back unless something happens as he's playing in the beginning of the game. He gets injured, something comes up where it limits him. I see him nothing but a full go, full workload, full everything. Now his price tag is up there, right? He's obviously going to be the highest priced running back. We're not getting any discount because I think everybody was pretty clear and understanding that at this point Derrick Henry was going to be back and was going to be ready to play this game. So when this pricing dropped basically last week, they're already under the assumption that he was going to play. There's no cheap discount here on Derrick Henry, as honestly there really shouldn't be, but that's just going to hopefully help drop a little bit of the ownership, but I still think everybody's going to be pointing to Henry. I don't think there's any secret there. He's going to run all over the Cincinnati Bengals, and I would be plugging him in. I would say he's going to be probably locked in almost 100% of my lineups, just for that deal there. The quarterbacks, I'm not hearing much on Ryan Tannehill. So again, there's a couple quarterbacks on this 4-game slate. Ryan Tannehill, Jimmy Garoppolo. These are the 2 guys on the slate that nobody's really talking about and probably shouldn't be talking about. But this is also where you can get that leverage if they do go off, if something does happen where Tannehill has a monster game or Jimmy Garoppolo somehow goes in the frozen tundra and just has one of the best games of his life. anything's possible, guys. Anything is possible. I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds funny, but we have to be reminded of this because that's the difference maker from being mim cash or not cashing to being at the top of the leaderboard in your contest when you're playing GPPs. Again, do I think Tannehill or Garoppolo are great options this weekend? Absolutely not. I'm not telling you that Jimmy Garoppolo is a lock play or Ryan Tannehill is a lock play. I'm not telling you that at all. I'm just reminding you that you need to make sure that you are thinking through each and everything as you're building your lineups. What's up, Elvis? What's up, Jack? Bogarts? So when you're doing that, salary's obviously got to play a big measure in this, right? We only have so much salary. Everybody is priced accordingly. The only guy I think that's not priced accordingly when we get to that game is going to be, I think he is Clyde Edwards-Helaire. But I'm honestly not a fan of him. McKinnon just had a crazy good game. Came out of nowhere. Carter, I appreciate your 16 months membership, brother. Thank you so much. I just think Jerick McKinnon's going to continue to get a lot of that workload. I don't think they're just going to say, here, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, you just take it all back over. He's going to have to work his way back through. So I think that's right there. That's one of the prices where maybe you can get by at running back. So Burrow, I'm just going to get into it. Burrow is going to be a heavy favorite of mine, which he's probably going to be a heavy favorite of a lot of people this week. I love looking at Joe Burrow here. Tannehill, personally, I won't be playing any of. But again, guys, think of that mindset. What is it going to take down and be at the top of the leaderboards? Tannehill has to have a crazy game. But is that possible in Tennessee against the Cincinnati Bengals? Absolutely it is. For sure it is. It is a possibility. The Bengals have been playing great lately. But again, Tennessee's at home. We could all be pointing to Derrick Henry here. We could all be saying Derrick Henry's going to be the guy, which he should. Derrick Henry's going to eat. Then Derrick Henry could go out and have 50, 60 yards running. Tannehill could throw for 3 touchdowns. 280 yards, whatever. Maybe even plug one in himself on a quarterback sneak or something. Anything is possible, guys. We need to keep these things open. And another thing with Derrick Henry, like I talked, I feel he's going to get that full workload. I'm on him. But Foreman, Hillard, any of these guys are viable as well as anything can happen. Now, on the other side of that, Joe Mixon, that's going to be another guy that I am going to be heavy on. I'm going to tell you right now, basically running backs, I'm just going to break it down. Running backs is going to be Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones, Joe Mixon, Cam Akers, Eli Mitchell, Devin Singletary, and then Jerick McKinnon. That's the order that I'm going to be in running backs and how I'm going to play them, however I can fit it when I build it with the salaries. Quarterbacks, it's going to be Josh Allen, number 1, Joe Burrow, number 2, Aaron Rodgers, number 3, and Stafford, number 4. Those are the only ones I'm going to be playing, and literally, majority of my lineups will just have Allen, Burrow, and Rodgers, period. So, but let's just keep going through here. I'm kind of getting sidetracked because there's only so many games, so I'm trying to keep to. But Joe Mixon's going to be my second favorite option at running back. He's going to continue to eat. He has been eating. Huge upside here. I know it's in Tennessee. I know it's against a tough defense, the best. But I still think with the amount of workload he is going to be given, with the amount of touches he is going to have, I think he can create a lot and could go off here. We could be saying Mixon's the king dog this weekend over Henry just for the weekend. But we'll see. Any given Sunday. Receivers in this game on the Tennessee and Cincinnati. Jamar Chase, obviously, again, anytime he touches the field, he has a chance to break a slate. He has a chance to be in the winning lineup, taking down a GPP. Are you going to pay $8,200 for him? I mean, against Tennessee, I'm not a big fan of it. Personally, if I was to go for a receiver here, I'm looking at probably T. Higgins. I know T. Higgins was a big bust last weekend, so that's going to push people away from T. Higgins. You guys remember T. Higgins, 3-4 weeks ago, had a monster game as well. Right before Chase had his monster game. When Burrow went back-to-back 500-plus yards passing in 2 games. I think Higgins comes back this week. I think if there's that air attack from Burrow, I think it's maybe split out a little bit, but I think Higgins is going to pay off that 6.4 price tag versus Chase at that 8.2 price tag. I'm more of a fan going in that direction. Now, if you're looking at someone like Tannehill, which we just discussed, which could be an option who is not being talked about at all, you could look to, obviously, your A.J. Browns. Julio Jones is sitting down there at 5,600. Hasn't really done anything. Hasn't looked like himself. You got Westbrook. Westbrook Igneen, or whatever, however you say his second part of his last name out there. You even got Chester Rogers just in the helms. So if you go with Tannehill, you're probably looking at somebody like Brown, maybe even a Brown Julio Jones stack. I don't know. Again, I'm not going to be playing Tannehill, but I'm telling you that there is a chance that something like this is what is in a winning lineup because nobody's going to be playing him. And if he goes off, we're all going to be in trouble, right? At tight end, my favorite tight end this weekend is going to be C.J. Uzomah. This is going to be my favorite tight end this weekend. I know there's Travis Kelce on the board. I know there's George Kittle. I know there's Knox on the board for this weekend slate. CJ is going to be my favorite receiver, bar none. At the price, at $5,500, he makes it easier for us to be able to fill in and pay up at some of these other positions where salary is a little more difficult. There's no real freebies this weekend, if you will. There's no real just automatic locks that are going to be salary savers. There's none of that. So we need to find a place where we can save some money, and I think someone like Uzomah's there. Now, another thing, again, if you're looking back at Tannehill, don't forget about these tight ends in Tennessee. They're not crazy. They're not great. But again, if they get you a touchdown, if they get in the end zone, that right there alone could have huge upside, and it's going to give you that salary savings. But for Fursker, Swam, basically for the $300 between Uzomah and Fursker, I'm going Uzomah all day. Okay. Defense, the Tennessee Titans are going to be my second favorite defense in the 4-game slate. Packers are going to be my number 1. We'll obviously get to that game, but Tennessee Titans would be my favorite here. The Bengals, I mean, if you're just going to punt defense, if you're absolutely just looking to punt the defense, I mean, go ahead, plug Cincinnati in. You know what I mean? If you're just looking to save them for the $700, I'd pay up for Tennessee on FanDuel. For another $400, you can get the Packers at $4,500 on FanDuel as well. So that's an option there. Yes, McKinnon went off. Yep, and I think he's going to... What's up, Hobbyist? How you doing, buddy? It's going to be cold in Nashville. Yeah, it's going to be cold. Where do you see Deshaun Watson playing next year? I'm not really sure. Yeah, rips to slabs. Julio is a better option because of his price tag, right? So, again, we got to try to find those options. He hasn't really done anything all year, but could this be the week, right? Any given Sunday. That's the mentality we have to have, especially when we're building GPP lineups. If this is cash game, we got to be more aware of, hey, somebody who's going to be getting for sure a lot of targets. They're going to be able to get a lot of receptions, etc. But in GPPs, anyone and everyone is viable, and I would say that Julio at 5,600 on FanDuel is looking kind of good, to be honest with you. And yes, it is going to be cold. It's also going to be cold, really cold in Green Bay. Green Bay and San Francisco. Here we go, man. I think this is the game that's going to be the most lopsided game of the weekend. What do they got the spread at now? Last time I checked the spread. So it's Packers are favored by 5. It's a 47.5 point total. I honestly think the Packers come out of here probably by maybe 7 or 10. Honestly, I would be putting money on that spread. Aaron Rodgers is going to be my third favorite quarterback of the 4-game slate between the 2 days. All right. He is going to be one of the highest priced besides Mahomes and Josh Allen for good measure. Again, it's going to be super cold in Green Bay, but he's been there how many years? He's done this how many times? I don't see there being any issue or any difference. Now, Jimmy Garoppolo. I guess is another guy that nobody's really talking about because it's in Green Bay, right? I said Tannehill. No, I did say Garoppolo. I said Tannehill and Garoppolo. I just don't see it in Green Bay. It's going to be cold. Garoppolo looked all right last weekend. He's looked all right when he's been back on the field, but I just don't see it, man. I don't see anything coming out of here from Jimmy G. I think they're going to try to run the ball. I think they're going to try to utilize Deebo Samuel as they always have all season as much as they can. More with a short pass, more with a run. I just don't see Garoppolo having any type of success here in Green Bay in the frozen tundra. Running back. My running backs. Aaron Jones is actually my second, or he's my second. Mixon is my third favorite running back. So it goes Henry, Jones, Mixon in that order. Those are the top favorites. Now, they're all priced up there. So, again, we're not getting any real savings. But I think that the touchdown upside here, I think just the general upside for Aaron Jones in Green Bay, it's going to be cold. This is a weekend where I could see you pairing Aaron Rodgers with Aaron Jones with like a receiver, a Lazard, or if you can somehow fit him in there, Devontae Adams, right? I think you can get away with it. I think you can get by with it. I usually not a big fan of playing quarterback with running back because the correlation there is just not enough. But I think this weekend it's a 4-game slate. You got to get a little different. You got to get a little cute, but you got to have players. You got to put players in that have meaning, that are going to actually make something happen. And Aaron Jones can be that dude. Now A.J. Dillon is sitting in the back in the Wims. He could have just as much success. He's probably not going to get he's probably not going to get as many touches or targets or whatever, but he has that chance or that ability on those third and shorts, on the goal lines, etc. They could bring him in at any time and he could pump one in. So you got to keep that in mind. You got to remember that. Eli Mitchell, he's probably about 5th or 6th on the list of my running back favorites in order. Again, for the price tag at $7,300 in Green Bay against Green Bay's defense, isn't Mr. Z Smith activated? Wasn't he activated? He's back on the defense for Green Bay. So I just don't see it. I don't know. And you gotta the issue you have here is I think Deebo Samuel, as much as they like to utilize him and play him, I just feel like that takes away from Eli. Even though Eli's been looking good these last few weeks. He's had almost 100 yards rushing. He's had like 24 touches. I don't know, man. I'm torn. I just don't think I can pay that $7,300 price tag for him. He would be like 5th, 6th on my list. Now, another guy you got to keep in the rims. Any of these guys are possibly viable in a GPP. This guy is somebody you got to... If he gets a touchdown, right? Not saying he can, not saying he will, not saying the chances are high. But again, if we're trying to get in a mindset of trying to find someone at a cheap price that could give us a touchdown and pay off that tag and give us some more salary elsewhere, your boy Kyle here, I don't know. Interesting. We can't forget about these guys. Obviously, Devontae Adams, we don't need to say much about him. If you can fit him in, if you're going to play him with Rodgers, do it. I personally am more of a fan of Allen Lazard this weekend. I'm going to be heavier on Lazard. I'm going to be saving that $2,700 on FanDuel and utilizing that salary elsewhere. I just feel like Lazard's come to his own. Randall Cobb is another guy. In fact, if you wanted to look at like an Aaron Rodgers stack, I wouldn't be afraid with an Aaron Rodgers, Lazard, Randall Cobb stack, to be honest with you. Obviously, Adams has the biggest upside, but again, he's $2,700 more, or he's $3,500 more if we're talking Randall Cobb. So there's a big salary difference there. I already touched on Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel, I feel, is going to be the biggest part of their offense, as he has been. I feel like he has the biggest opportunity, just with the rush ability and how they utilize him as a running back as well. But don't forget about Brandon Ayuk. He's kind of come to his own the last couple weeks here or so. He's 5,900. 5,900. That's a decent price tag. It's not really a salary saver because he's not going to give you that upside like Samuel will, but he can get you a touchdown. He can get you 60, 80 yards receiving possibly. So, and then you always got this dude, Jennings, right? Juwan Jennings always seems to find some kind of touchdown from Deebo Samuel or somebody throwing it to him, some kind of trick play. So don't forget about our boy Jay Jennings. When you're building or looking through your builds. George Kittle, again, I don't see it. I don't like it. The price tag, if I'm paying up, I'd rather just go to Gronk. I think Gronk's 7,100. I would try to find that salary saving, that $700 difference between Kittle and Gronk. I just don't see it with Kittle. You got Lewis and DeGuara. Either one of these guys, I mean, again, at 4,900. CJ Uzma's at 5,500. Personally, I don't get it. I don't see it, man. I appreciate you, balls. What up, man? Connor, what's going on, man? Randall is my guy. Terry says Randall is my guy today. Yeah, man. Randall should be a good fit. He's back. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers loves to throw to him, so we'll see what he can do. Defense, again, I told you guys, Packers are by far my favorite defense. They're the most expensive. For good reason, right? It'd be Packers then Titans defense if I'm talking defenses in that order. San Fran, I'm staying away from, obviously. That's probably the bottom of the defense. All right, let's get to the Rams at Tampa Bay. Whew, this one is interesting. 3-point spread, 48-point total. It's obviously in Tampa Bay. Tom Brady, what else can you say? He's the GOAT, right? He's done it. He's been here. He's done it a million times. He's in Florida. It's not gonna be cold like it is in Green Bay or in Tennessee, some of these other places where these other games are being played at. But we got to remember, he's got Mike Evans, right? He's got Gronk. He's got Tyler Johnson. He's got who's their other receiver at the bottom end there? Perriman's out. He's got Scotty Miller, right? He's lost some of his targets. My boy Antonio Brown that I talked about all year. Every time I said play him when he played, and he would go off and go off and go off. Right? He was his favorite target. Doesn't have Godwin, right? Mike Evans is obviously their receiver one here. He is in a very, very, very tough matchup against the Rams. Brady will find a way to score. He's going to put points on the board. The game's going to be close, right? I'm still sticking with thinking the Rams pull a win out of here. I still think the Rams take it. You got Brady at 7,800 on FanDuel. You got Stafford at 74. I know it's a tough defense in Tampa Bay. I know it's in Tampa Bay, and I know Stafford is not a guy. Where's my man Tom T when I need him? He needs to be in the chat in here so he can start trying to roast our boy. Matthew Stafford, because he loves to take shots at him. So Stafford would be my fourth favorite quarterback through this four game deal. It would be my fourth favorite target. You guys may think I'm crazy, but I'm not playing any Tom Brady at all in any of my slates this weekend. I know, sounds crazy, right? I feel Stafford holds the edge here in Tampa Bay against Tom Brady. I just feel like the targets, what he has, his options versus Brady, this is going to be a close game. It's going to be a tight game. Fournette, this is what we're waiting on right here. If Fournette is activated, which we don't know yet, should suit up is what they're saying. He's still dealing with this hamstring, right? He is a great option. I still would play Henry, Jones, Mixon, for sure before I'd plug Fournette in. He'd be like 4 or 5 if he does play, which it sounds like he's going to. We'll have to wait and see. But here's a guy, even though it's a tough defense, here's a guy where maybe we can find some salary savings. Cam Akers. This guy has looked good coming back from his injury. He's sitting here at 5,700 on FanDuel. Where is he at on DraftKings? Oops. 5,500 on DraftKings. All right. So at 5,700, I think this is a spot you can take a shot. Giovanni Bernard, again, if Fournette is back, I just don't think that I would be going here, right? Deshaun Vaughn, right? You could look at even someone like Sony Mitchell behind Akers. But I think they've slowly been getting Akers back in to where he is the main dude, and he is going to be that guy. And I think they're going to rely heavily on him when it comes to the run game in Tampa Bay, which is not going to be easy. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. It's going to be tough. All these games are going to be tough. Receiver, Cooper Kupp. He's probably, obviously, the highest best option, but he's $9,500. I don't think I'm going to go there, right? I don't think... I would play Diggs. I would play Stephon Diggs and Devontae Adams if I'm paying up at receiver before I would pay for Cooper Kupp. My own opinion. Mike Evans, like I said, he's going to be their main receiver one there, but he's in a very, very, very tough matchup. So, and again, he's $8,300. I would rather look to somebody like Stephon Diggs, right? Or even Devontae Adams in that same price point. Beckham's been holding his own, 6,500. You got Van Jefferson again sitting here at 5,500. At any given time, he could bust one. He could take one to the house. He could get you a touchdown. And then you got Tyler Johnson, Scotty Miller. So again, if you're looking for some salary guys, Tyler Johnson, former Gophers, #SkiUMA, hashtag. Scotty Miller, I had him in some lineups last weekend. He got me like one reception, like 18 yards or something. He was very cheap though. I think I just had him on DraftKings at like 3,000 or 3,300 or something. But he's not gonna be a slate breaker. He's definitely not gonna be a slate breaker. Gronk, like I said, Kels, Gronk, CJ, but due to price, I love CJ. Tyler Higbee, this dude is just so hard to figure out, right? He's $5,400. Is Stafford going to utilize Higbee or utilize his tight ends more in this game? That's the type of things we need to talk through. We need to figure out. We need to look at how we feel the game's going to play out. Higbee sitting at 5,400. I don't know. I still think I like CJ Uzma at that for $100 more, similar price tag. And then you got somebody like Brait, who again could sneak in. Tom Brady could go to Brait over Gronk at any time in the end zone. He's going to look to Gronk more than likely 9 times out of 10. But still, there's that chance when we're talking GPPs, right? Taking down tournaments. Tampa Bay Bucks and Rams. I'm staying away from both defenses. I would rather pay for the Packers at 4,500 on FanDuel than the Tampa Bay Bucks against the Rams any day. Any day. I don't care what day it is. Give me the pack. Give me the pack at home against the 49ers. All right, last game. This is going to be a damn shootout, man. We all know that, right? Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. We talked about this, I think, on the podcast on Monday night, and I do apologize. It was a little loud. I was on my laptop. I was in Florida. I was traveling, etc., visiting my dad. And I just had to do with what I had. And I know there's a lot of noise in the background, but I couldn't really do anything about it. So I feel like Josh Allen, obviously Josh Allen is shadowed by Patrick Mahomes, right? There's always been this talk of Patrick Mahomes is the baby goat or the baby Brady, or he's this or he's that. I think Josh Allen uses this game as a statement game. I think he wants to show up Mr. Patrick Mahomes. Last time they played, and I know that's last time, I know it doesn't matter. Pretty sure they both had some pretty good games. But Josh Allen threw for like 320 yards, 315 yards. He rushed for like 60 yards. He had 3 touchdown passes, and he had a rushing touchdown pass. Okay? Let's see what our boy, old Patty Mahomes, did last time against Buffalo. So, Patty Mahomes against Buffalo, and again, we're looking at last time. He threw 54 times for 272 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, right? He rushed for 60 yards as well, and he had a fumble. Even though it's in Kansas City, even though it's an away game, I would still pay the $300 more for Josh Allen over Patrick Mahomes. And I'm going to pay that top dollar for Josh Allen on this 4-game slate. He is going to be my top quarterback. He is going to be my top pick. I'm going not all in, but I'm going heavy on Josh Allen. Now, I'm going to just be honest with you guys. I'm going to play zero Patrick Mahomes this weekend. Again, we have 4 games to play. We have 8 quarterbacks to pick from, to choose from. You got to limit your pool. You got to build around that and build the lineups that you want to build. Josh Allen, I feel they're both going to eat. They're both going to eat today. I'm not saying Patrick Mahomes is going to be a bust or he's not going to do anything, but I just feel like Buffalo's going to create turnovers. Buffalo's just going to, Josh Allen is just going to, this is going to be a statement game. I'm saying it right now. This is going to be, he's sick of being shadowed by Patrick Mahomes. He wants to be equivalent, or he wants to be talked as much or talked about as Patrick Mahomes is. He wants to be that baby, whatever they were utilizing before when Patty won his championships and whatnot. Again, there's nothing wrong with playing Patrick Mahomes. Not at all. 0. It's just I'm limiting my player pool. I'm only running with a few quarterbacks out of the 8, and he just doesn't make my build, my fits. So Singletary is going to be probably your most popular, safest running back option. He is down the list for me, honestly. I'll probably have him in like 1 or 2 out of my 12, 20 lineups, depending on how many I build. I think he's 6 or 7 on my list right now, running back. He's going to be popular. He's in a great spot. He's in his smash spot. He's a great cash play, like great for cash games. 100% great for cash games. All right, so now we get to this. This is a tough one, right? We talk about this. Edwards-Helaire is back, right? He's been out. McKinnon came out of nowhere. He was my playmaker last weekend, right, on the podcast, because he had like 160 all-purpose yards, scrimmage yards. He put in work. 6,000. I'm not looking at either one of these running backs against Buffalo, personally. But if I'm going to play one, even though CEH is back, I think McKinnon is going to be the main guy here. They're going to rotate, but I still think McKinnon's going to be the guy getting a lot of looks. So for $300, what's the price difference over here? Actually, McKinnon is cheaper than CEH by $400 on DraftKings. So that's interesting as well. And obviously they feel like CEH is just going to come in and be the main dude, but I don't think that's honestly going to be the case. So that's my deal there. If you're going to play one, I would be looking to McKinnon, not CEH, and especially on DraftKings where he's $400 cheaper. Receivers, Tyreek Hill. I mean, again, he's what can you say about him? Him and Kels, both, right? What can you say about them? They're great. They're priced up. They could go off. Either one of them could break the slate. Absolutely. I will have some Hill. But in most of my going to Josh Allen stacks, I'm going to be looking at somebody like Stephon Diggs over a Tyreek Hill if I'm paying up. But the guy I'm also really looking at here is Gabriel Davis. This is a guy at a cheaper price tag that I am going to be heavy on. This dude has the ability, I think, to break this slate, in my opinion. His touchdown upside is awesome. And at $5,300, give me it. Give me it. I want it. With my Josh Allen stacks, I want it. So I'd be looking at something like a Josh Allen, Diggs, Davis, or like a Josh Allen, Davis, Knox. I mean, those would be some stacks you could look at. And then you could just run it back. If you wanted to run it back, you could throw a Kelson there or a Hill, or you could run them both if you can make it work. We'll play around with some builds and see what we can do like we always do. You got Pringle, who's been kind of coming of his own as well lately. Again, against Buffalo, I'm not a huge fan. I'd rather just look to paying up at Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, or just one or the other. Now, Travis Kelce is, I want to say, he's not far from breaking a record, or he may even already own the record in postseason. I want to say receptions, yards, or for a tight end. He's obviously one of the best to do it. $8,200. Again, if you're going to pay up, you got to find places to save salary. We would love to just plug all these guys in, but we have to, it has to fit the salary. It has to fit the mold. So we have to make sure that we can make it work. Dawson Knox, 6,500. Not bad. Again, I just, for some reason, man, CJ Uzomah has just been a gut feeling of mine as I've been looking at this stuff and going through this. And his price, especially on FanDuel, is just at 5,500. I just think it's, I think that's one of the best plays. Personally, I think it's one of the best plays on the slate. Let me see where, so Knox is 4,500 on DraftKings. CJ is 30, dude, he's $3,400 on DraftKings. So, again, nothing wrong. Kelce is one of the best tight ends. Probably going to be one of the best ever to do it. You want to pay up, pay up. Kansas City, Buffalo, again, personally, I would just look at Packers and Titans defense, unless you're looking to punt. If you're going to punt, then you just do somebody like Cincinnati or whoever's the cheapest defense. So, all right, let me get with, let me look at some of the, yep, Lazard, balls is on Lazard. I think I'm going to keep Gronk into block without on him. Brady, taking Super Bowl. I'm not drunk at all, no. Thoughts on Dillon? Yeah. So, Robin, like I talked about, A.J. Dillon, when I was going over the Green Bay San Fran game, Aaron Jones is probably my second favorite running back this weekend, but I did say that A.J. Dillon for the $1,400 savings. What's the difference on DraftKings? We'll go through it. We're going to build some lineups and stuff, but it's like a $1,700 difference. I mean, again, they utilize him, right? He gets touches. They use him in the short, third and shorts. They use him at the goal line sometimes. Obviously, your boy or the Aaron Jones is gonna get a lot of work. He's gonna be the main workhorse here. But A.J. Dillon, all he has to do is punch one in, and that can happen. Football season over. It ended a few weeks ago. There you go. There's my guy, Field Guy. Shady Brady sucks. Also, FMS effort on making t-shirts on this in the future. Making t-shirts of what? I don't know what t-shirts. T-shirts of what, my guy? Of what? Matthew Stafford and Shady Brady sucks? Oh, Shady Brady sucks? Okay. Well, I don't think we can... we all have our own opinions, but Brady, he's obviously won 7 championships. One of the best to do it. I just don't think it's going to happen this year. So, who knows? They might beat the Rams. I just don't think anyone's beating Green Bay in Green Bay this year. Got to go through Green Bay. So, on the NFC side of things. All right, guys. Let's do a little. You guys want to do a little build? I think they're gonna keep Gronk in fuck. All right, guys, let's do a little build. So who do you guys want to use at quarterback here? We'll do a FanDuel and a DraftKings build. And guys, just keep in mind, man, the playoffs, You want to look to, guys, players utilizing salaries. You want to look to players that are going to make a difference, that you know are going to get touches, that are going to be a part of the game script. You don't want to take shots at just randos. This is not the time to do it. Not the time of the year. What do you guys want to plug in at quarterback? You guys tell me who you want at quarterback. We'll build it from there. This is where you guys get to participate. That's yeah, he's 6,100 and 5,100, so not bad. Anyone? Bester? Falls? Anyone? Bogarts? Whoever's out there? Everybody left me? Is my chat locked? Can I not see my chat? Give me a second. Streamlabs might be good. What's up, Dista Breaks? Yeah, I think my chat is locked on stream. All right. What do you guys want to use for quarterback? This is where you guys get to participate. We build a lineup with what you guys like. I can do my own. Anyone? Bueller? All right. Well, maybe I'll just end it here. You guys are good. You guys where you want to be at? We'll just end the stream here. All good. All right, man. Well, you guys all have an awesome day. Good luck with your if you're building, if you're playing. Good luck out there. Hopefully someone takes something down, and we'll see you next time. Great day, guys.